So, very warm welcome to this workshop, and I do hope that all of you are comfortable in your place of stay. Let me first say a few words to introduce the purpose and the context of this workshop, and also then welcome all of you formally and request you to introduce yourselves briefly. In fact, since we began this program in the afternoon on the request of some of you who said that they would be arriving later in the morning today, we have decided not to have too long an introductory session and rather begin right away with the activities. In fact, however, we have kind of combined the introductory session with a session where you will automatically get introduced to one another and automatically get to interact, as you will be doing on every afternoon in the course. Typically, the session just after lunch should be an interactive one, or a session of tutorial, or a session where you work rather than listen to a lecture. And that's how we planned all the workshop this time. This workshop is being conducted as a joint activity between the Knowledge Incubation under TechWhip program at IIT Bombay and the TechWhip program at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Batu, Dr. Batu Lonere. So, it is being conducted in the continuing education program format, the IIT Bombay continuing education program format from the point of view of the Batu participation, or even Maharashtra TechWhip participation, and for other states outside Maharashtra we have made it fully a TechWhip Kite event. There is a background to this. In November, from November the 2nd to the 7th, we had a program on digital signal processing principles and implementation, where we also had lab sessions in the afternoon, which was conducted in dual mode. That means it was conducted as a TechWhip Kite program that is completely supported by Knowledge Incubation under TechWhip for Maharashtra TechWhip institutes, and it was a continuing education program under TechWhip for Gujarat, for the Gujarat TechWhip institutes. So, I thought to balance things, it is good to have the dual this time, where Maharashtra comes under continuing education program mode and other states are welcomed in the TechWhip Kite support. However, notwithstanding that, TechWhip Kite anyway plays a role in making arrangements here, and as you can see, this program is being conducted at the Center for Distance Learning Education program, CDEEP at IIT Bombay, which is really looking after this knowledge incubation under TechWhip activity at IIT Bombay. Now, let me say a few words both about the knowledge incubation under TechWhip and about the continuing education program. First, about knowledge incubation under TechWhip. The Ministry of Human Resource Development, MHRD, felt it appropriate to ask some of the IITs to play a role in conducting nodal activities for TechWhip institutions. Accordingly, IIT Bombay was also requested to conduct certain nodal activities for TechWhip institutions, particularly in and around Mumbai, or rather in Maharashtra, one could say. However, it was not restricted. In principle, our activities could involve any TechWhip institutes in the country, but for obvious practical reasons, most of the activities would involve institutes from Maharashtra. So, in fact, in a way, this time we have consciously stepped out of that mold, and we have said we would like to invite institutes from outside Maharashtra. I would have been even happier to see a better response, but I believe we should have probably given much more time, many more months, for that kind of a response. Even with the short time that we had, we have a few participants consciously from, in fact, may I then see which are the participants from outside Maharashtra this time? Could you please raise your hands? That's good to see. So, we have a few participants from outside Maharashtra whom we consciously encourage this time, and I am glad to see that they are here. Could you raise your hands again? Just we have about, fine, as expected, about 6 participants from outside Maharashtra, and then of course all the people from Maharashtra, could you raise your hands from the TechWhip? So yeah, these are all the people from Maharashtra. So anyway, I think it's good. There is a good opportunity for people from Maharashtra to interact with people from outside Maharashtra, and what is important here is to give and take between participants of different institutions. It's very important that you interact with one another, learn from one another, in addition to doing the exercises in the class and listening to the lectures. That's also a purpose of this kind of a program. Now, the continuing education program is also an initiative of IIT Bombay, much previous to TechWhip Kite. It has been in operation for almost 15 years now, I think probably more than that, close to 20 years, where we, that's also an outreach activity, where faculty reach out to the industry, to other educational institutions, and to other organizations in terms of knowledge transfer, in terms of instruction, in terms of specific topics which could be learned or discussed. So, one of the activities that was encouraged for all the TechWhip institutes was to have these kinds of continuing education programs. So, in fact, this time I am very happy to say that Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, BATU as it is called in short, has taken upon itself the task of organizing this continuing education program jointly with the TechWhip Kite at IIT Bombay for Maharashtra TechWhip institutes. In fact, in this context, the one person who has played a very important role is Dr. Sanjay Nalbalwar, and I would like to call him here. Professor Sanjay Nalbalwar, please come. So, Professor Nalbalwar has played a very important role in putting this continuing education program part of this workshop together. He has contacted many of you, of course largely from Maharashtra, but I believe from a couple of cases from other states also have contacted him. And I am very glad that you have a large number of participants who have finally come here. I think he had to do a lot of running around, a lot of coordination to make this happen. I know what it means to put a team together. It's quite a difficult task. I think Professor Nalbalwar has done that, and we must certainly appreciate him in no mean terms for this. Now, coming to so therefore, as far as the administrative part goes, this is again I repeat, this is a joint activity between the knowledge incubation under TechWhip at IIT Bombay and the continuing education program at IIT Bombay, however operated by the Dr. Babasaheb, so specifically requested and operated by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, BATU, Lonere, which was the central figure here. So, they put the continuing education program part together, and they are also a TechWhip institute, of course, and they have been coming to our TechWhip Kite programs before. So, in some sense they were keen to put this workshop together, and we were also keen to have it, so it worked out very well. It is a synergistic effort, and what is important here is that this time the proposal has come from BATU to have this workshop, and I like that idea of having a joint activity, because that's what TechWhip Kite should ultimately do. It shouldn't just be we driving the activities. It should be a situation now where some of the TechWhip institutes ask for an activity, are willing to invest some resources in that activity, and TechWhip Kite from IIT Bombay also supports it. So, I am very glad that this workshop is actually materializing, where we actually have a collaboration between a TechWhip institute and the TechWhip Kite at IIT Bombay. So much so for the administrative part. Now for the academic part, what is this workshop all about? In this workshop, we are going to look at mathematics in engineering. Now, this is not the first time that people have been talking about mathematics in engineering. We keep talking about it in every institute of engineering education, I believe. mathematics is an essential and actually a very beautiful part of technology and engineering. All of us, many of us are faculty, some of us are graduate students, PhD students, research scholars. Many of us would appreciate how important, in fact all of us I think would appreciate how important mathematics is in engineering and technology. Many of us, I would say with tongue in cheek as they say, would also appreciate the rift that sometimes comes between the mathematician who actually expounds that subject and the engineer or the technologist who wishes to use it for his or her purpose. Now this rift is imaginary in the sense that there is no fundamental difference between the mathematics as seen by a mathematician and the mathematics as used by an engineer. There is no fundamental difference. The difference is perceived. It is created either because of views or because of the method of delivery or the perspective. The same idea can be used in many ways, or the same idea can be seen in many ways. The engineer or the technologist sees it from a certain view and the mathematician sees it from a different view. And actually the two views are definitely not contradictory and to some extent complementary. However, the average engineer, and I am saying this based on my interaction with many of them over the years, either you could say the average engineer or the average engineering student is sometimes concerned about too much of mathematical rigor as he or she perceives it. He thinks, the moment a lot of equations present themselves before us in a discussion, the whole discussion either seems incomprehensible or looks unpalatable. It looks like, this is not for me. Many engineers, or more than engineers, I would think the engineering student. In fact, it is remarkable. The engineering student comes into the engineering program typically with a love for mathematics. Seldom is there a student who joins engineering who does not like mathematics. But when they come into the engineering program, suddenly mathematics becomes formidable because it acquires a different form and color. Now, one of the aims of this workshop is to have people in the engineering discipline speak to you about mathematics. That is what we are doing. All my colleagues who are going to participate in this workshop, and I am very glad to introduce the first of them who is going to speak to you. Why don't Deb Sattam, why don't you come? So I am very pleased to introduce Professor Deb Sattam Pal, who who is my colleague in the Department of Electrical Engineering, who will also be talking to you today, and several of my other colleagues who will join you over the next few days. All of them come from the engineering disciplines. They are going to talk to you about mathematics because they find that mathematics is beautiful even while it is applied in engineering or technology. And Professor Deb Sattam is definitely one of them. He will talk to you about a specific aspect of this. Now, that is the background of this, to see the beauty in mathematical principles as applied to engineering and to discuss that beauty, to expound on it with the help of people in the engineering discipline. So, you are all essentially from the engineering discipline, many of you, and your instructors are also from the engineering discipline. We could have of course invited people from the pure sciences disciplines, but we thought we should have a variation here. It is good for engineers to talk about why mathematics is important to them and how they use it, and you will discover then that there is no dichotomy between the way a mathematician perceives the importance of mathematics and the way the engineering expert, the engineering faculty perceives the importance of mathematics in an engineering or technology curriculum. This is the purpose of the workshop. Now, I do not want to steal the thunder from my colleagues by trying to discuss all the different topics that are going to be there. They would themselves tell you about the topics. In fact, Professor Deb Sattam will soon, after this session, talk to you about certain things. I would leave it to him to talk about what he is going to discuss. Now let's do a quick round of, we will not spend too much of time, this is really going to be quick. As I said, at IIT we believe in not too much of fanfare about introductions and inaugurations, and we get down to business soon enough. But this is a part of the business. I think all of you should know one another by and large. So we'll do the we'll do our duties first by introducing ourselves. I should have in fact introduced myself by now. I should have Anyway, I'm Vikram Gadre. I'm a professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering. I also happen to be coordinating this workshop, and I am doing that in my capacity as the head of the Center for Distance Engineering Education program at IIT Bombay. So the knowledge incubation under TechWib is being operated under the Center for Distance Engineering Education program, CDEP IIT Bombay. That's me. Now let me request Professor Nalbalwar to introduce himself.
First of all, I welcome you all for joining this workshop. This workshop basically it was organized in the month of December. It was decided to conduct this workshop in the month of December because of time constraints. Sir was not getting the time, so 2-3 times it was rescheduled, and at the end it is finalized now. I thanks respected Professor V.M. Gadre sir for accepting our invitation and giving the consent or conducting the workshop for our institute as well as all institutes in the state of Maharashtra, as well as there are some candidates from the outside the Maharashtra also. Earlier we conducted 2 programs. One was on introduction to wavelets and its application, something like that, and one was digital signal processing and its application. Both the programs they got huge response. The way sir conduct the programs, it is very fantastic. You will absolutely, I am sure that you will enjoy this course also. The way he teach the things, the way he express the things, really you will enjoy. Hospitality, don't talk. It is in that case nobody can beat this sir, and always he is helping my department where I am working. I am Dr. Sanjay Nalbalwar, working at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere. I am heading the Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering. With me, some of the participants, they are from my institute also. Dr. Elian Singh, Dr. B.P. Singh. Dr. B.P. Singh, he is a great mathematician. He is also, he was he is crossing I think 55. Still he is having this one interest to join the workshops. He said, no, I am going to come. I want to attend the workshop. I said about something about sir, so he said no. I will no way I will stop and I will come. Dr. Elian Singh is also about my experience of 30 years. He is from physics. And he is also equally interested, and he said no, whatever maybe problems they are there in the university, I am here, I am going to attend the workshop. He is the head of the physics department, and there are interviews on 21st. Again, B.P. Singh sir also, he is also head of the mathematics department. There are interviews. Then they cancel those things and they join the workshops. So we are very much interested to learn the way you teach the things. Really, I am sure that everyone will enjoy the workshop because most of us, we are not well known with this course, linear algebra, and that is very important course as far as research is concerned. So that point of view, you will definitely having long lasting this one effect of this course. And once again I thanks Professor V.M. Gadre sir accepting our request and conducting this workshop. And again, one more request is there from my side. In the month of August, again I am requesting him to conduct one more workshop on statistical signal processing. So that is also important area, and many of us, we are not sound in that area, and that area is very important for research as far as research is concerned. So I hope sir will accept my request, and again that will be scheduled during this workshop only. Right, sir? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor Nalbalwar. I think, yeah, certainly, I think we always welcome such proposals. We'll definitely work out another workshop on statistical processing and whatever else. Let me request Professor Devasattam Pal to introduce himself, and then we'll.
My name is Devasattam. First, a big thanks to Professor Gadre and his team and all the organizers for giving me the opportunity to, give the lectures here. I work in control and systems theory. We'll see. I have prepared some things. We'll see what they are in today's class and tomorrow's class. Thank you. Welcome you all.
Now, as I said, we don't believe in too much of frills in introduction. So let me now request on the other hand, I do think introduction is important. So let us do the job very efficiently and swiftly. So we'll pass the mic around, and each of you must introduce yourself, the institute from which you are. I mean, I expect it will be a TechWhip Institute. You can just mention which TechWhip Institute you're associated with, and just 1 or 2 lines on what you're doing, and don't, because we don't have too much of time, right? So.
Good afternoon. Myself Parthi Patil from RIT Sakrade. My institute is a TechWhip Institute, and last 2 years I am teaching VLSI signal processing course to the PG student, and whenever there is a system, each system is having a state space analysis. So to know this type of the concepts, I am attending this course. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon all. Myself Goel Afghan from Government College of Engineering, Aurangabad, and presently I am pursuing my ME in Electrical Power Systems.
Good afternoon everyone. I am Aniket Kulkarni. I am from Government College of Engineering, Aurangabad. Right now I am pursuing my ME from Electrical Power System.
Good afternoon everyone. My name is Govind Kumbhakarna and I am from ME ENTC Department, Government Engineering College, Aurangabad.
Good afternoon everyone. My name is Yogesh Khandarao Taru. I am from Government College of Engineering, Aurangabad. I am doing ME Electronics and Department.
I am Professor Sneha from BUB College of Engineering and Technology. I am working as assistant professor there, and I am handling VLSI and network analysis.
Good afternoon all. I am Soumya Patil from BVB CET Hubli. My research interest is in interval arithmetic based adaptive filters. Thank you.
Good afternoon all. Myself Sushma. I am working as an assistant professor in BVB CET Hubli. My PG specialization is power electronics, and this time I am handling a DSP course in BVB.
Good afternoon everyone. I am Anupama Itigi from BVB College of Engineering and Technology, Hubballi. I am working as assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics, and interested to know more about linear algebra and its application in electrical engineering.
Good afternoon all. My name is Putke Shruti and I am MTech student from SGGS IIT Nanded.
Hello everyone. I am Manisha Patil from SGGS IIT Nanded and pursuing MTech in electronics engineering.
Good afternoon to all of you. My name is Mahesh Ladekar. I am full-time research scholar in SGS Nanded. I am working under Professor Y.B. Zusto.
Good afternoon everyone. My name is Gajanan Galchetwar. I am working as full-time research scholar in SGGS Institute of Engineering and Technology in Nanded. I am working under Dr. L.M. Wagmars.
I am associate professor from Walchand College of Engineering. My name is Sunil Kore. I am teaching random processes, but still after teaching this course for 5-6 years, I am interested to learn and teach the statistical signal processing, finding it really difficult without having base for linear algebra. So that's why I come here.
Good afternoon all of you. I am Dr. Ellen Singh. I have done PhD from this institute in 1992. Then I have joined the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University. I am head of department over there. I am working on magnetic memory devices. Thank you.
I am Dr. B.B. Singh, and I am also working as associate professor in the Department of Mathematics, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, which has the credit of being the very first technological university of the entire Maharashtra state, and now that has become an affiliating university. So my research areas, I did my PhD from BHU, and my area is fluid mechanics. And very often I'm using the concept of vector algebra, although it was a subject at my MSc level, but in research level also I'm using the concepts of vector algebra very often. Sir, one thing I want to tell you, I conducted one program in Dr. Batu in the year 2002. I was the coordinator for that program. Do you recollect, sir? So I invited you and you gave a very beautiful talk on integral transform, Fourier transforms and fast Fourier transforms. And it's my pleasure to tell you that, sir, you were declared the best resource person of that program. Wow. Although I could not tell you before this, but now this is the time. Oh, yes. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon all. I am Dr. Rahul Dahatonde. I am Associate Professor in Electrical Engineering in Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Mumbai. I teach signal processing, digital signal processing, filter theory applications, signals and systems. I work in microstrip patch antennas, and I also look after training and placements at my institute. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ranjana Sahu. I am from COEP Pune. I am pursuing my MTech in VLSI and Embedded Systems.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Saureen Ghosh. I am from College of Engineering Pune, and yeah, I am also doing my MTech in signal processing. And Gadre sir, we had a course on joint time frequency analysis, and he's the person to go for that. The wavelets. I learned a lot from the NPTEL lectures that sir has delivered, and he's the go-to guy for you all. So, thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Sheetal Umakant Pawar. I am from Government College of Engineering, Karad. I am working as assistant professor over there. I have done my MTech in signal processing from COEP Pune. As far as this linear algebra workshop is considered, I want to do my research in compressed sensing, and for that compressed sensing, linear algebra is very much important. So I have attended this workshop. Thank you.
Good afternoon all. Myself Nilima Mohite from SDGS Nanded. I am working as research scholar in image processing.
Good afternoon to all. I am Bharti Mehra from SRTI Vidisha, Madhya Pradesh. My interest subject is embedded system design.
Good afternoon all. I am Shraddha Kharat from Government Engineering College, Jalgaon. I am working there as an assistant professor.
Good afternoon, one and all. My name is Saksham Vasudev. I am from SRTI Vidisha, which is a TechCube Institute, and I have done my BE in Instrumentation and MTech in VLSI Design from Mainit Bhopal. My research interests are VLSI design and digital systems.
Good afternoon. I am Rohit Gavde. I am research scholar from Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University. My research topic is development of energy efficient techniques for wireless networks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Yuvraj Parkare. I am working as a research scholar in ENTC department of Dr. Batu Lonere. I am working in signal processing area under the guidance of Dr. S.L. Nalbalwar. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Amol Kotade. I am a research scholar at Dr. Batu Lonere in ENTC department.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Girish Govind Bhide from Finolex Academy, Ratnagiri in Electronics Engineering Department, and I am pursuing my PhD at Batu Lonere under Nalbalwar sir and Nangaonkar sir. My area is microstrip patch antenna.
Good afternoon to one and all. I am Sushma Kadge, research scholar at Dr. Babasaheb Technological University, Luneri, under the guidance of Dr. S.L. Nalbalwar and Nangaonkar sir. My research area interest is biomedical image processing. Sir, I have also attended your last time's program, DSP application and its implementation. It was very good workshop, and very basic things were covered, but it was beautifully covered. The way you say, the way you teach, it makes a lots of difference. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I am Mahesh Monde, working with St. Xavier's Technical Institute, Mahim, and I am a part-time research scholar at Dr. Batu Lonere. My area is biomedical signal processing and RF. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Pratik Oak. I am a part-time research scholar in Dr. Batu Lonere, and my area of interest is biomedical image processing.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Sandeep Baukar. I am research scholar at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, and my research area is biomedical signal processing.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sagar Satyavan Jagtap. I am a research scholar in Dr. Batu Lonere, and my area of interest is microstrip antenna. I am pursuing my PhD under the guidance of Dr. S. B. Devsarkar and Dr. Iyer, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ashok Shinde, and I am a research scholar at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University under Professor Nal Bulwar, sir. And my research area is compression sensing for biosignals, and I am currently working in International Institute of Information Technology as an assistant professor. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. I am Rajnikant Maitri. I have completed my MTech in Control Systems from College of Engineering, Pune, and currently I am working in RIT Sakra in Electrical Engineering Department. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar. Presently, I am working as associate professor at IFTM University, Moradabad, UP.
Well, I think then we will now, as I said, get down. We are very happy to welcome all of you. I do hope all of you are comfortable. This time we consciously made it a point to accommodate you on the campus, even if it is in the student hostels. Each of you has, in fact, we have also kept additional rooms. So if somebody is accompanying you, then they can be housed in the additional room, but they are all in the hostel. So we don't have so many rooms in the guest house. I mean, even if we want to, we cannot accommodate people in the guest house. And we can't do it for a few people and not do it for the others. So we have to be fair to everybody and give them reasonably comfortable. So I hope that is the case. If there is some difficulty, our staff will be happy to help you overcome any problems. Yes, well, I think one participant just joined, so can we also have her introduce herself?
I am Pallavi Ingre. I am a research scholar in Dr. Batu Lonere.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll get, as I said, we'll get down to business, right? And the first business that we are going to transact is to look at a pedagogical technique and also to carry out an exercise in, and I'm, in IIT we believe in doing things with a lot of formalism. So I'm going to give you a little tutorial sheet right away. Please take one each, right? Now please go through, we are going to do with the little time that we have and in the sessions. As you know, the purpose of this workshop is both to introduce ideas and also to introduce certain pedagogical strategies. There is a well-known pedagogical strategy called Think, Pair, Share, which our educational technologists have researched in great depth. Now what I am going to use here in this context is a slight variant of that. It's not exactly that. I call it Think, Group, Share. Now you see, the purpose of this session now is to take some focused problems in linear algebra, right, which are not unfamiliar to us. Most of us will understand the problems, but there are nuances there which we need to pay attention to. And in fact, those nuances we will discuss in the subsequent session that I am going to conduct today, later in the day. You see, in the Think, Group, Share pedagogical approach, what is done is each individual participant first thinks on the problem and comes out with an answer. Now in Think, Pair, Share, typically they recommend having some part of the problem which is then discussed in groups of two, pairs. So in a pair, typically, it could be that you verify one another's solution, or you add to that solution in some way which requires two people to look at it, and so on. Here we are going to do it as Think groups. So I am not going to form a pair, I am going to form groups either of two or slightly more. So we'll soon form groups among ourselves. In fact, we'll do it organically. And the reason for having this session now is this is one way for you to get to know one another. As far as possible, form groups with people whom you don't know, right? So you must get to know people and form groups with people whom you don't know. Now in this exercise, in the think, in each exercise you will notice that there is some part which is the think part, where you are required to first reflect individually on the problem and come out with an answer. And we should be honest about it. You know, don't try and discuss during the think phase. You should first come out with an answer individually. Then in the group phase, you form small groups. We will try to form groups of either 2 or 3, not more than 3. Right? Don't make the group size more than 3. But I am allowing up to 3 because it may be difficult to exactly find pairs. And also I think it's fine to have a group of 3 if they add complementarity to one another. So group size 2 or 3, not more than 3. Okay. Now in the group phase, what should be done is that you first verify one another's answer, and then there is something to be added to that. Right? That is explained in the group part of the exercise. Right? Now after we have gone through the group part of the exercise, then we come to share. Share part means all the groups, that means the entire class will then discuss what they learned. So first we discuss what we learned out of the think and group part, and then we also add something to it by trying to add some more exercise to it. So there are exercises like this. We shall now do this. I have 3 exercises. I am not sure whether we will be able to complete all the 3, but let us at least try to complete 2 of the 3 exercises in this session. So let us begin with the first. They have been ordered in some sense in order of complexity. So anybody who does not have the sheet, everybody should have individually a copy of the sheet. Right? Now let me read out the first exercise. So it says consider 3 vectors which are given to you. I think all of us understand these are not new, Consider the 3 vectors x1, x2 and x3, which are described in terms of the unit vectors in 3 directions, I, j and k. So x1 is equal to I, x2 is I plus 3j plus 2k, and x3 is I minus 3j plus k. And let them represent, and I, j, k represent the standard perpendicular unit vector in 3 dimensions. Now think part of the exercise is, are these vectors orthogonal to one another? You are required to answer this question and to explain your answer, and then show that they are, I am telling you that they are linearly independent, and you have to prove that they are linearly independent in 3 dimensions. This is the think part of the exercise. Now for the think part of the exercise, each of us must do it individually and honestly so. Don't discuss with your partners and so, do it individually, and we will give you maybe 2 or 3 minutes to do it individually. Right? And then we will come to the group part. How many of you are don't right now or not right now up to date with the idea of linear independence or orthogonality perpendicular? Everybody, you are not right now. Okay. So those of you who, couple of, if you are not, then don't, when you form a group you can always complete that part. Or let me put it this way, how many of you understand what I am asking you in this think part? Can you raise your hands? How many of you understand what I have asked you to do? Can you raise your hands? Yeah, all right. Okay. So make an attempt to do it. So 2 to 3 minutes. I am seriously considering having prizes for the best group, but I am still thinking of whether that should be done or not. Maybe we will do that. So just to give you a hint, linear independence means that there should not be a way, if they are linearly independent, it means that it should not be possible to make a linear combination of them which adds to 0. Or another way of saying it is that none of them should be expressible as a linear combination of the others. Right? So whatever way you want to show this, you must try and prove it. How many of you are done already with this? How many of you are done? Can you raise your hands please? How many of you are done? Good, good, very nice. How much more time should we give to this? Couple of minutes. Okay, now how many of you are done? Can you raise your hands? How many of you are done now? All right, I think this time we'll now form the groups, in fact it will be good. Now please form groups of either 2 or 3 people, but form them with people preferably whom you don't know, because the whole idea is that you must learn to interact with others, and So quickly and sit as a group, So please quickly form groups in 2 minutes. Of either size 2 or size 3. Preferably form groups with people whom you don't know. Please sit in the groups. Now in the group, so have you all formed groups? Let me quickly go through the groups this time, the first time I am doing this. So from this side we will just enumerate. So group 1, quickly raise your hands. Hurry up please. Group 1, group 2. Please, group 2. Raise your hands, yeah. Just group 2. Group 3. Oh, group 4. Here. Group 5. Group 6. Group 7. The 3 of you. Okay, group 7. No, not. There should be only 3. Yeah. Group 8. Group 9, okay, group 10, group 11, group 12, group 13. Any other group? This is a group, no? Here. Okay. All right, please go ahead. Now in the group, now please listen before you start. In the group, you first discuss one another and try to verify what solution the people have done in the think phase, and correct it if it is wrong, or if the person has not been able to answer, then try to help him answer and come out with it. Now that's not the end of it. Please can everybody listen to me first, don't start with the exercise before listening. See, in the group phase, can you all listen to me first, can I have your attention? Yeah, in the group exercise also you notice there's something to be added to it, it's not just verification. In the group exercise, you are now required to do something more, which is a little difficult. You are required to obtain a set of 3 vectors now. Let's call them y1, y2, y3. So that y1 is now perpendicular to x2 and x3. y2 is perpendicular to x1, x3. And y3 is perpendicular to x1, x2. So you are required to obtain these 3 vectors. Now, are they unique or not, that you should tell me. You as a group you sit and think and tell me. And then you are required to use these new vectors which you have got to expand. Suppose I give you an arbitrary vector in 3 dimensions. You are required to expand that vector in terms of x1, x2, x3. So I give you an arbitrary vector x in 3 dimensions or v in 3 dimensions. You should be able to write v as some constant times x1 plus some constant times x2 and some constant times x3, and those constants should be very nicely obtained by using y1, y2, y3. How will you do this? You discuss in the group and you will share it. Okay. So when we come to the share phase, your group answer will be ready. Now for the group part, we will take 5 minutes. Okay. 5 minutes. This time I am going to have a prize for the best group. Whichever group gets the answer first, please raise your hands. Right. I am seriously considering bringing some sweetmeats from tomorrow. Whoever answers, whichever group answers first gets the sweets. See, try to think how you will do this. How will you obtain these y1, y2, y3? Try to think either geometrically or algebraically, whatever you prefer. Any answers? Anybody ready with the answer?
They are not orthogonal, first one.
Okay, you want to come and share? We'll come. No, but before you discuss, so you're ready with the answer so far? Professor Nalbalwar, your group? No, don't give the answer, but are you ready with it right now?
First question, A and B is what?
Okay, you're ready with the answer? Okay, just keep it. I'll just ask how many are ready, then I'm going to ask you to come and share. Any other group which is ready with the answer?
फर्स्ट का तो सर नो ऑर्थोगोनल है।
नहीं, एक आंसर मत बताइए, अगर ये बताइए कि तैयार है क्या आंसर। कितने लोगों का आंसर तैयार है? Okay, now we will come to the share phase, where I'll request some of you to first put your answers before. So let me start with that group in the yeah. You said you have an answer, no? Would you? Okay, let us see what half you have. You can come here. You can introduce yourselves. Yeah. Yeah. So now you must come. You you can introduce. You can sit there. You can write down your answer on the board. I'll introduce yourself and write down your answer.
Hello, myself Amol Kotade. I have completed only half part. I got 3 vectors y1, y2, y3 which are orthogonal to x1, x2, x3. So I have taken the combination y1 orthogonal with x2, y2 orthogonal with x3 and y3 orthogonal with x1, and I got the vectors y3 equal to -1, 0, 0, x1 orthogonal with y3. Our x1 is 1, 0, 0, and I got y3 equal to -1, 0, 0. Then I have taken y2 orthogonal with x3, and I got y2 equal to 4, 1, -1. Then third combination I have taken y3 orthogonal with x1, y3 equal to, yes, sorry, y3 is already done. Y1 is equal to 5 -1 -1. So y3 and x1 they are orthogonal because x1 is 1, 0, 0 and y3 is -1, 0, 0. Then x2 and y1 are orthogonal. So x2 is 1, 3, 2 and y1 is x2 is x1 and y3. x1 is 1, 0, 0 and y3 is -1, 0, 0.
So they are not they are not perpendicular because why the dot product of x1 and
Yes,
y3,
dot product has to be 0. Yes.
yeah, but these are not 0, no? This dot product is not 0. The dot product is -1 here.
Yes, sorry, a dot product is coming minus.
There is some problem.
Some problem. Yes.
Would somebody like to improve upon this answer? Who would like to improve? Okay, come. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, it doesn't matter. We'll have another group.
Yeah, 0.
Would you like to improve upon it? Yeah.
Can I discuss with group right now?
Okay, you can discuss with your group and come back.
Y3 is?
Or would your group like to come? Would you like to come and explain? Come, you can explain, quick. Why don't you come? I think we'll have, good to have different people come to the podium.
Y3 is?
Yeah, you can introduce yourself and you can improve upon it.
Myself Girish Bhide from Ratnagiri. Y3 could be 0, 1, 1.
Okay. So of course it's orthogonal, but does it, so what does it require? See, what is the requirement on Y3? Y3 needs to be perpendicular to both x1 and x2. So is this satisfying that? No. Okay. So who would like to improve upon this answer? Anybody who would like to improve upon this answer? Who would like to come and improve upon this answer? You said you would like to come and improve upon? Can you come and explain here? So you can come and explain to everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, very well tried.
My name is Futke Shruti and I am a MTech student from SGGS INT Nanded.
X1.
Consider x1 will be I and y3 will be equals to j. So dot product will be I into.
Yeah, but what is that enough? So y3 needs to be perpendicular to both x1 and x2, right? So who would like, so have you made it perpendicular to both of them?
No sir.
Okay, all right. No, but then can somebody improve upon this? Come, Professor Nalbalwar, would you like to explain? Yeah, thank you.
I am Dr. Sanjay Nalbalwar. I am from Dr. Batu Lonere. Here we have given three vectors. x1, which is 1, 0, 0. Vector x2 is 1, 3, 2. And vector x3 is 1, minus 3, 1. So here, if I take dot product between vector x1 and x2, the dot product is 1. The dot product between x1 and x3 is, if I go for dot product, here also dot product is 1. And if I go with x2 and x3, here also dot product is not 0. So 1 minus 9 plus 2, it is minus 6. So these vectors, they are not perpendicular. So dot product is not 0. x1, x2, x3, they are not perpendicular. The second part of the problem, yes, they said, okay, what is asked is whether these vectors are perpendicular or not. So if I take a linear combination of these three vectors, a times x1, b times x2, c times x3, it is equal to 0 only if a equal to 0, b equal to 0, c equal to 0. This is the definition of linearity. One vector cannot be expressed in terms of other vectors. That can be said like this way: a equal to 0, b equal to 0, c equal to 0. So let us do this. A times x1, so a multiplied by x1, it is a 0, 0. B multiplied by x2, so it is b 3b plus 2b, and x3 into c, so it is c minus 3c,
3b comma 2b.
Comma, here, sorry, comma, 3b comma 2b, yes. Then last is c minus 3c and c, right? If this a times this, b times this, c times this. If I am taking this linear combination and it is setting equal to 0, linear combination is set to 0. Now I will be getting the this one, addition of these vectors. Addition of vectors means addition of respective components. So a plus b first component, a plus b plus c. Second component is 0 plus 3b minus 3c, and third component is 0, 2b plus c equal to 0 vector. This is 0 vector. So it is 0, 0, 0. So we are having three equations: a plus b plus c equal to 0. Second one is 3b minus 3c equal to 0, and 2b plus c equal to 0. So here, if I use this one, if I solve these two equations, multiply this equation by 2 and this equation by 3, so this becomes 6b minus 6c, and here 6b plus 3c. So here it is 6b minus 6c is equal to 0, and here multiplied by 3, 6b plus 3c equal to 0, which gives me c equal to 0. And if I put c equal to 0 in this, the b becomes 0. B and c equal to 0, if I put in the equation 1, so a is equal to 0. So a equal to 0, b equal to 0. This is satisfying the condition of linearity.
I think we should give them a big hand.
Yeah.
This is what systematically solved. Put to see. Right? This is a systematic solution to the linear independence problem. Now, now the second part.
Now the second part of the problem is, so here what is given is yj is orthogonal to xi. So that can be written as inner product xi with yj is equal to 0, right? When I is not equal to j. So this is what given to us. So what is asked here is use these vectors y1, y2, y3 to express arbitrary vector v as a linear combination of.
No, but first you are required to obtain these vectors.
Yes, we have to obtain vectors y1, y2, y3.
So has anybody thought about how you could obtain these vectors? Is there a systematic way of, like he had a systematic way of, yes, so she has an answer. Let's pass the mic to her.
I'm Pallavi Ingre.
Yes.
The systematic way to obtain these answers is to follow the Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization procedure.
GSO. Yeah, because we are given independent vectors. If independent vectors are given, can be converted to orthogonal set.
Wait. See, you're not. So what does the Gram-Schmidt procedure do?
I am not remembering the formula exactly.
It is not formula. What does
any linearly independent set can be converted to orthogonal or orthonormal.
No, in fact, I intentionally, so it's a, so actually I am not asking you to convert it to an orthogonal set. So
sir is not asking, yes.
So, I am asking you to convert, I am asking you to find three vectors. That's why, it's a bit tricky, the question. Intentionally, I gave it to you like that.
Yes, sir.
So, the first vector needs to be perpendicular to the other two. The second vector needs to be perpendicular to, each vector needs to be perpendicular to the other two.
In that procedure,
so it's not really, so Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization will not work. So one should be, yes, yeah.
Cross product of the
now I think we should, say, give him that, So can you introduce,
Ashok, you can come and.
come and explain, very good. तो आप बताओ वो just that golden word you can first utter it.
It's if you take the cross product of the remaining two vectors, it will give the perpendicular vector.
That itself is the most. Can you come and explain? Thank you, Professor Nambalwar. We will now request you can introduce yourself.
I did not do any kind of work there.
But you can explain what should be done, so everybody can now try to do it.
Yeah, myself. I am Ashok Nagnath Shinde, research scholar from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University. So task is what we have to find y1, which is perpendicular to both to x2 and x3. If you take the cross product of x2 and x3, that gives the answer actually.
Very good.
So
that's what
x2 cross product x3. So it is a procedure. Okay, cross x2. I have to write in matrix form.
Yeah, right. You can do that.
Is it correct, sir?
Yes, very correct. Yes, please go
1,
on.
3, 2, 1 minus 3. Sorry, 1. It's 1.
Very correct.
So you have to just solve this matrix, gives the answer. It is just a way how to get the answer for.
Right.
It's for y2 is ijk, and that is for y2 you have to take 1, 0, 0.
Yes.
And 1 minus 3, 1. And y3 is this one. Okay, that is 1, 0, 0 and 1, 3, 2. Yes, you have to just only solve.
I think we should give him a big hand. This is certainly a very correct, very good solution. And in fact, this is what I wanted. So it's very important that you understand, like Professor Nalbalwar actually brought out the meaning of linear independence by actually solving. Similarly, he has brought out the process of constructing these three vectors by looking at a general approach to the problem, right? So he has constructed, so very good,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. So good, very well. So you can find the cross product. Each cross product of the pair, you take a cross product, what happens? It gives you a vector in the direction perpendicular to both. So once you construct, now how can you use these three vectors to express, now somebody answered that? How can you use these three vectors y1, y2, y3 to express an arbitrary vector v? So Ashok, do you have an answer for that? Okay. Anybody else who would like to answer that part? So I want to take an arbitrary vector v and express it as a linear combination of x1, x2, x3. Now if I have to do it in the ordinary way, then I have to sit and solve equations for each coordinate. But can I do it in a neat, nice way using these vectors y1, y2, y3 if they are available. In fact, this whole thing illustrates a concept which I am going to teach you in the next class. Yes, please do, yes. So when Nalbalwar is going to help us. Yeah, so you have to express any v as
yes, ax1 plus bx2 cx3. This is our vector v. Now we know that y1 is perpendicular to x2 and x3. We also know that y2 is perpendicular to x1 and x3, and y3 is perpendicular to x1 and x2. By exploiting that fact, we can write v inner product y1 is equal to a times x1 inner product y1. We know that y1 is perpendicular to x2 and y1 is also perpendicular to x3, which implies that a is equal to inner product v y1 divided by inner product x1 y1.
Very good. I think this is a basic idea. Let's give him a big hand. Now you can show it.
Yeah.
Yes, you can show it for the others. Yes.
Yeah. Similarly, we can go for b. We want to find the coefficient b. So v inner product y2 is equal to, we know that y2 is perpendicular to x1 and y2 is perpendicular to x3. So these two terms will not come in picture. So here b is vy2 and here x2 y2. This is our b. And similarly, you can say c is v inner product y3 inner product y3, and what is the dividing factor? It is perpendicular to x1 and x2, so it will be x3 y3. So we have to just find a, b and c. So we get vector v. We know y1, y2, y3, so we can find vector x1, x2, x3. That is also given. y1, y2, y3 we got. So a, b, c can be obtained. So finding of a, b, c, it means express any vector, given vector v in terms of linear combination of
very
x1,
good. I think
x2,
we should certainly
x3.
give him a big hand for this. It's a very elegant. So what is being illustrated here is by using these three vectors. So Professor Nalbalwar has beautifully shown you how you can read off. You can literally read off the values of a, b, and c if you have these vectors y1, y2, and y3. You don't need to solve any equations. You can simply do a simple calculation and obtain. Otherwise, what would you have to do? You would have to solve simultaneous equations to obtain a, b, and c. But here it's just a nice calculation which you can do of simple dot products, which are easy to calculate anyway for three-dimensional vectors, and you have the answer written for you. Yes. Now this whole, you see, what I am trying to illustrate with this exercise is that there are some very deep and yet very simple concepts which you can understand from 3 dimensions and you can generalize to more dimensions. And in fact, I have left it as a part of your share exercise. I don't know if some of you have tried to answer that share part. So we are already doing the share part. We are already doing the share part of the think group share exercise. But in the share part, I also wanted you to try and see if you can generalize this to more than 3 dimensions. So does somebody have a view on that? Otherwise, of course, I am going to talk about it in my next lecture. Right? Would somebody would like to answer that part some way? How can you generalize this to more than 3 dimensions? Suppose you have a higher dimensional vector. How can you generalize this? Anybody would like to answer that or say something about that? All right. So if nobody has, then we'll again thank Professor Nalbalwar. Very correct.
Is it okay?
Yes, that's correct. So I think that's, yeah, no, not, yeah, AI would be V, yi, yeah, X. Right, this needs to be.
This needs to be.
J. Anyway, you can anyway. So I mean, but the idea is clear. You know what needs.
Maybe
to be
Xi.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, you need to. So, but the idea is clear. Is that right? Very good indeed. So now let us take the second. Thank you so much, Professor Nalbalwar. Now let's take the second thing group share exercise. I don't think we have enough time to complete it, but at least let us start with the first part, the think part. The second think group share exercise says, take any simple real waveform which you commonly encounter in your engineering studies lasting for one time unit. So look at the waveform over one time unit, right? Now I can give you examples. It could be a square wave, it could be a triangle, anything. Take it for one time unit. You draw any shape, any part of the waveform which you encounter for one time, typically in your engineering studies, and repeat it periodically with a period of 1. The think exercise is obtain the Fourier series representation of this waveform as a sum of sinusoids of different frequencies, and you are required to specify the amplitude and phase at each frequency. So maybe at least we will do the think part of the exercise now before we conclude this session. And then we will also do the share. So you can continue with the same groups. We will do the share part and at least verify one another's Fourier series expansion. So we will take about 5 minutes for this. I would be happy if at least one person comes and puts up his Fourier series, his or her Fourier series expansion here. So take any waveform which you like, and write a Fourier series expansion. Done? Okay, comes. Professor Amol has an answer.
Yes, I have taken a periodic square pulse. Let's say its width is tau. So total width is tau, amplitude is A, and its period is, shall I note down the rough, general or 1? Period is T0.
Okay.
So we have exponential Fourier series. So exponential Fourier series means you have to solve Cn is equal to 1 upon T0. You integrate over one period minus T0 by 2 to T0 by 2 x of t e raised to j 2 pi nt upon T0 dt. So our signal is xt is there. So Cn is 1 upon T0 integration over one period. Our period is T0. So in general T0 by 2 x of t, its amplitude is A e raised to j 2 pi nt upon T0 dt. So after solving this, shall I directly write down the answer? Okay. So after solving this, the answer is coming Cn, that is a exponential Fourier series component, A tau upon T0 sinc of n tau upon T0, where A is the amplitude, tau is the width, and T0 is the fundamental period. So that's it.
Okay. All right. I think we definitely should give him a big hand because he solved the problem as such. Now, have you thought about, since you have gone this far, but what I also wanted is, say, this is, you have written it as an exponential Fourier series.
Yes, yes.
But then it's a real waveform and we would like to have a real expansion. So how will you first convert this to a real expansion?
Real expansion is,
in the sense that I want the Fourier series terms also to be real functions, so sinusoids.
okay, A0 there are formulas are available. Trigonometric Fourier series are there.
Okay.
So the formulas are, means I can express the signal x of t is equal to A0.
No, but now that you have got the exponential Fourier series, can you use it to obtain the sinusoidal expansion?
Not right now, sir. I don't
You don't
know.
remember. Okay. Would somebody like to help him with that? Yeah.
That sinusoidal component is 0, means time.
component because the waveform is even function.
Right.
Cosine terms will be 0. Only cosine term and DC term will get only.
Very good. So in
Yes,
this
yes.
particular case,
Yes.
there will be no sinusoidal, there will be no sine part.
Cosine
So
part will be
you-
there.
So would you like to come and help him write down the sinusoid? Okay, you want to try first.
A DC component will be A0, that we can easily find out by 1 upon T0 integration over one period, and x of t, that's it. So you have to simply solve this integration. So A is the amplitude minus means 1 upon T0 minus 2 by 2 to minus 2 by 2 A dt A0 is equal to A upon T0, and that's it, 2. So DC component is coming A0 is equal to A2 upon T0.
Very good.
That's it. That is nothing but the amplitude of Cn. That is, then we have to find out cos, because the waveform is even, so no sine terms will be present. Cosine components will be, so there are an and bn. So bn is nothing but 2 upon T0. One has to integrate over one period again, one period x of t cos of formula, I think 2 pi sorry n omega 0 t dt. So omega 0 is again 2 pi upon T0. So you have to solve this integration and we will get the Bn.
Okay. Very good. So I think that's a good attempt, and I would encourage you to complete the solution. Now we have not completed this exercise, but it looks like we are coming to the end of this session, and we don't want to, go upset the schedule also. So now this session was to give you a background of what I am going to do in the next session. In the next session, I am going to do most of the talking, and you will do most of the listening. Anyway, this session should set a background for the next session that I am going to conduct.